Hello Internet, I am Stefan with Eco Studies here, and this video is about dressing in layers to stay warm when it's cold outside. Hi buddy. Hi, how you doing? And dressing in layers is of course super important. One of the reasons we dress in layers is because if we start to get like too hot and you start sweating, that's one of the ways we're going to lose heat, because we lose heat in lots of different ways. We'll talk about that in a sec. So if you're dressed in layers, especially if your layers are full zip, you can just unzip a layer and bada boom, you can cool down a little bit more. Hey buddy, yeah, I know, you're too cute, you're distracting my video, I know. This is Berkeley, my dog. There's 4 different ways that we can lose heat. We can lose heat by evaporation, water that evaporates from our body, so we want to make sure that our base layer is going to absorb our sweat for that reason. We can lose heat through convection or conduction, which is like being in contact with something or like winds moving around. So in order to do that, we're going to want to have an insulating layer. That's why I'm going to go with my nice puffy jacket. A little bit more on that later in the video. And the other way we lose heat is through radiation, which is where heat radiates out from our body. So one of the things we want to kind of do is trap all that heat in using those different ways that we can keep our heat in our body. So for dressing in layers, the first layer we're going to be wearing is our base layer. Base layer is the one that's going to go right up against your skin. Of course, under this would be my underwear, but I'm not showing you a picture of me in my underwear. That's not cool. For a base layer, one of the things I really recommend, I really like merino wool. Merino wool is a great fabric. It traps a fair bit of the moisture, so it keeps it away from your body, and it does stay warm even when wet, and it's a nice natural fabric. If you haven't got access to merino wool, or you can't afford merino wool, it's quite expensive, another good option is synthetic fabrics that are really good at evaporation. So even though they'll sort of wick the moisture away from your body, the moisture will evaporate fairly quickly, and so it doesn't necessarily stay trapped there. So those are my 2 recommendations for your base layer. It's going to go right up against your skin. And as you can see here, I got my base layer on my legs, base layer on my upper body. So our next layer is our insulating layer. So I've got, now I'm putting on a nice warm pair of pants over top of my, my base layer pants. And then I've put a nice fleece over top of that. Now, adding to that, I would go with probably another insulating layer if it's particularly cold outside. This is my favorite kind of insulating layer. What we have right here, this is the puffy jacket. Puffy jackets are fantastic. And I'll talk a little bit of why this puffy jacket in particular is a great kind of jacket that you can wear. Now finally, our last layer is we are going to have basically like a wind blocking layer. So now I've added my snow pants. Snow pants of course also have a bunch of insulation in them, but they're also going to keep the moisture and the wind out, and that's going to keep your body nice and warm. And then over top here, I've added the raincoat over top of my puffy jacket. And again, it's a nice breathable, but it's keeping the wind and the moisture out away from my body. So just to review here, what I'm looking at, we've got our base layer on first. Recommended merino wool because it keeps you warm even while wet. Synthetic fabrics are good too because they absorb and then dry. Then we got on top of that, we're putting our insulation layer. In this case, I've gone with a nice synthetic fiber fleece. Here's another insulation layer. In this case, we got our puffy jacket. I'm a big fan of the puffy jacket for a number of reasons. 1, because it packs down really nice and light. And 2, because it creates great insulation. If you can get down, that's great. I personally can't because I'm allergic, but down is an excellent insulator. And then finally, our outer layer, we've got our shell, the part of the jacket. This is my rain jacket here. It's keeping the rain out, keeping the wind out, making sure that we stay nice and warm and dry. So this right here is the puffy jacket. This is one of my favorite accessories in terms of creating an insulating layer. I really like it because the liner of the jacket creates a really good insulation. That's where it sort of gets puffy right here. Now down's probably the best. I can't wear down because I happen to be allergic to it, but I really like the puffy jacket. I like the fact this puffy jacket here has a hood. The other thing that's kind of nice about it is it's got a light color on the inside. And this light blue on the inside, it might seem like just sort of like a fashion statement or whatever, but by having a lighter color on the inside, that actually reflects more heat back to you. In fact, there's a lot of great ones you can get from Columbia that actually have like a silver on the inside to like reflect your body heat back, because one of the ways that we lose heat is through radiation. Right? The other thing that's great about a puffy jacket, they don't take up a ton of room in the pack. I can squish it down, and the whole thing packs down to practically nothing. So that's the puffy jacket. And of course, when it comes to dressing layers, it's not just our torso and our legs we need to worry about. Here is my hands, and so once again, I'm going to dress in layers for my hands. I'm going to put this glove on here. Bada boom! There we go. Now we have a glove that is nice and thick, so that's just like my insulating layer. And then I can put another nice shell on top, a waterproof shell on top of that glove, and that's going to create, again, it's going to seal everything in and prevent the heat from escaping. We can do the same thing now with our head. So I put my, here is my head. Look at it, it's beautiful, man. And now I'm going to put a beanie on that, so that's beanies there. It can absorb the sweat, and it's also going to give me a little bit of insulation. I'm going to add my insulating layer by popping up my insulating hood, and I'm going to add, finally, my protective layer from the elements. So here comes the rain jacket hood, and now I'm all set to go out on my outdoor adventures. Okay, so that's it for our video on dressing in layers and staying warm outside. It's probably more than you ever wanted to know about dressing in layers, but to be honest with you, it's one of the most important things. The elements is one of the most dangerous things when we're out in nature. So please go ahead and like this video, and please subscribe to our channel. Check out our channel for more videos about the outside or about our Eco Studies program. And if you know someone who might be interested in doing their learning outside for their high school credit in Ontario, please check out our website, ecostudies.ca.